Hey guys, it's Z from Team Blank. Today I want to make a tutorial for you guys on orbits. Um, it's really popular. We get a lot of questions about it on the forum for like a good, quick, step-by-step tutorial on some moves you can do and how to make it work. My orbit we're going to use right now, I have a couple, but this one is just a Nova, and two microlights. We got an Imorph, a pink, and a blue, and a red, a Nova. I really suggest trying to pick one of these up if you can. They're not, at least where I am, they're not that popular, so you really stand out if you have one, if you can get it down. And it's definitely amazing to add into your light show, especially if you can put it in with gloves. And speaking of gloves, I just have normal white gloves on. There's nothing inside of them. Because the string is going to cut into you, otherwise it just kind of hurts. I've actually made myself bleed before. And then speaking of string, depending on how you like it, the string really matters. I'm using a 2mm satin string. I know some people like using shoelace. Some people like using 1mm nylon string is most popular. And if you order from OrbitLightsShow.com, I believe that's what they'll actually give you. I just chose to go with the bigger one. You can do nylon string, satin string, shoelace, just anything you want really. Just depending on how you like it. So to start out, when you get your orbit, most likely it'll look like this. You'll have the little keychain part on attached to a string, and that. I don't like that. That's not how I do it. I don't suggest doing it because I feel like you're really limited in the way you can move your orbit. What I do is, I completely relace it, and you have this little loop. You lace it to where you just have a big loop here. You're going to put your thumb in it, then you're going to wrap it around the back of your hand and pinch on. And then again, just put your thumb in, wrap it around the back of your hand, and then pinch down. And you want to be sure to keep your finger, your index finger and thumb pinched down in the orbit at all times, otherwise you'll lose tension. And really with an orbit, tension is the most important part to being able to put on a good orbit light show. So let me turn off lights, and we can turn on the lights on the orbit, and I'll probably give a better view for you. Alright, so we're going to put this on the second mode. Okay, so at the beginning of the show, obviously, it's just going to be twirling around. This is going to build tension within the orbit. If you keep your fingers pinched down, like I said, you'll feel tension just building up within it. When it gets too tight, like you're seeing, it'll make a star. That's what that is. That's not really a move you can like time out and just make happen when you want to. It happens when you've built enough tension within the orbit. So when you have enough tension, you'll be able to just do like this. I'm just pulling a little with my hands to build tension again. Or I'm using the wrong hand. So just pulling a little bit, that's just keeping the tension going. So when you have your orbit like this, if you just give it a little flick of the wrist, you'll be able to do that. That's called a flower. And all it takes is just keeping the tension, a little flick of the wrist. It may take some practice to be able to keep the tension. Some people get it down really quick, others don't, but that's that. So that's essentially how the orbit works. I'll try right now to bring you through some moves you can do. A lot of people just like wave it around in a circle. They're like, what else can I do with this thing? It looks cool, but it's gotta be something else. So I'm just gonna show you some of the moves I do. I'm sure there's a million more, but it's just kind of give you a general heads up on what's possible with an orbit. So like I said, I'm gonna build the tension. A really popular move is when you have the tension like this, just wave it back and forth. Looks kind of cool, yeah. The really popular move is called an arm wrap. And an arm wrap is where you have your orbit, you have, I might turn the lights on for this one. you have you can have either arm, one arm in the front, one arm in the back, like you're about to shoot a slingshot. Basically, you're gonna hold it and you just wrap it around your arm and keep going back and forth like that. So I'll show you that in the dark. Oops, in my chair. It was kind of cool. It feels like a spiral effect. It kind of hurts, but that's for the show. Depending on how long your string is, you can do certain things. I keep my string about from my whole arm length all the way to my shoulder. So that's about 2.5 feet. I suggest getting the string pretty long. I think going like literally from your shoulder to the tip of your finger is a really good length. This can provide you, most people, when they incorporate gloves into their light show, they'll keep their orbit behind them and they'll have their hands out just like this, and then when they're going to pull out, just pull that from behind them, and there it is. You've probably seen that in a lot of videos. That's how they're doing it. So it's better to keep it long. Also, when you're keeping it long, you're able to spin it, get the tension going, and then you can actually like fold over again and keep getting closer. So see, now there's not that much room between my hands and the orbit. I've just like added on to it, which brings me to another move. A lot of people like this. You'll find that people are pretty scared of the orbit when you're giving them a show if it's the first time of them getting an orbit light show, because you're obviously like flinging these lights right in their face attached to a string. This one really worries them, but it's one of my favorite. So you have your hands pretty close to the orbit, about a foot if that, and you do the same thing. You just get the circle going. If you do it right in their face, looks pretty good. Another pretty cool thing you do, and I don't know how it works always, you can do almost a poi move with it. So you have your orbit normally wrapped up, and you put your hands together like this. I'm not sure if it's really poi, I shouldn't have said that, but it's something. And you can just literally, you have to be careful with this one. Obviously you could hit them if they're too close. You can fling it around, and somehow it always manages to go to not being tangled. Mine only did because I let go of it for some reason. But usually, does not get tangled at all. So let me show you that move in the dark. If I can get it untangled. I promise it doesn't usually happen. I'm just not that bright, obviously. Alright. So you have to usually back away from whoever you're giving a light show to. But like I said, just put your hands together and kind of fling it around. It's just different because it's not a circle, and people don't expect that from an orbit, because you're giving them this orbit light show and then suddenly come at them with something that's not just a circle in their face. So it really helps. So when you're developing moves, the most important thing to remember is just to think of things they can do while keeping your tension. Another pretty popular one is like, just have it here. Oh, well, I just broke my string. So we won't go into it. I basically covered everything there is to an orbit. I was just going to go on more stuff, but it's not that important. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment. I'll try to get to them. I'm pretty active. That's a basic wrap-up for a Orbit Light Show tutorial. Aaron, the owner of Orbit Light Show, has also made a tutorial for this already. I just tried to go in a little more in depth with it than he did. But I'll also put his video in the comment box, so that way you can look at his if you want to also. Post me with any questions you got, and hope you guys like this. Thanks a lot.